This past summer, the summer of 2024, I worked an unstimulating 8 to 5 with a 1 hour commute, which effectively made my days feel like a 7 to 6. I didn't spend much time with friends, nor do any special trips or fun things. Every day I woke up at 6, went to work, ate dinner, went to the gym, and showered. Had an hour or two of downtime before going to bed at around 10 to 11 p.m. For anyone past college, this might sound like amusing, as that is what I've heard to be normal working life, which will take up decades and decades of our life. Yet, while the summer might seem unimpressive, I actually remember it quite fondly, as perhaps the best summer I ever had, when I know for a fact that I was not having a great time. My job was a joke, and I essentially spent 30 hours a week killing time on YouTube, while the other 10 was attending meetings and running errands for people. The commute sucked. I spent 2 hours of my day stuck in traffic, and I was living alone with my grandma, who I could barely converse with due to her limited English. Furthermore, I didn't do stuff that I usually enjoy doing to pass time, like video games, sports, or spending time with people. There are some sensible reasons for my positive memory of that summer. I was highly productive in terms of quantity of time at a job with a quality title and description. I was consistent in things I cared about, like going to the gym, listening to sermons, and doing devotionals. Yet while these things on paper might make me feel good about the summer, I know that there were many times where I was sitting in traffic, tired and sick of the crawling pace, hours at my cubicle, crashing out about how dumb my job was, sets at the gym where I just wanted to walk out, and many 6 a.m.s I had to drag my body out of bed. This might be further amusing as, wow, this kid is finally experiencing the pains of real life as we all have, which is absolutely true. Yet my whole point is that even though my life experience may be miserable, the memory isn't. And that's the topic of this essay, memory. This quarter in school is terrible under certain perspectives. But I had those same emotions this past summer, and coming out of it, I see it in a completely different manner. As a result, I've been reflecting on memory and how I have come to have a better understanding of its relevance and significance in living well. One of the major realizations I've developed is that your memory of experience is equally as important, if not more important, than your actual lived experience. While this might be a rudimentary observation, I think it is a springboard for extremely helpful advice on how to live better. I think the reason why I have fond memories of that summer is because I was actively working on things I cared about, and because my perspective on life was well situated to catch and appreciate new and different things during this time away from normalcy. What I mean by this is that I continued doing things I cared about, which is not necessarily given, and tried many things. I would say that I am a person that enjoys learning things and is generally curious, and this summer I fed that curiosity by experimenting with many parts of my lifestyle. As a result, when I look back at this period of time, I value consistency, perseverance, and new insights gained more than the wasted time or uncomfortableness of the mundane repetitiveness. I think this is why people emphasize a positive mindset so much. A positive mentality does a much better job at creating positive memories. It doesn't matter if an experience in life is more accurately considered to be bad or negative, because once we have lived that moment, the only way to access it is through memory. Our memory is like a pointer to our life, to use a computer science analogy. Thus, the tint of the lens of memory is of paramount importance, and taking good care of those lenses prevents one from losing the wonderful parts of their life. This further reinforces why perspective is so important, because perspective is the foundation upon which our memories are made. It picks out what should be remembered and how it should be remembered. I already knew that perspective is critically important, but this reflection on memory adds a flavor and complexity that I think I'm savoring in a new way. Also, I've never been a fan of the glass half full and positive mindset propaganda because I don't think they are necessarily more accurate than their negative counterparts. However, I do now better appreciate their influence on memory and thus life.